Here we have for sale our October 2020 on a 70 plate Citroen Berlingo XL, which means this is the long wheelbase. This is the Enterprise model, which is the spec. And this is actually a crew van, so you've got 5 seats in here. It's got the 1.5 litre blue HDI diesel engine, which produces 100 brake horsepower, and that's accompanied with a 5-speed manual gearbox. And this is the 850 model, which refers to the payload of actually 855 kilograms. And what we're going to do in this video is have a little walk around. I'll show you the spec that you get on a Berlingo Enterprise Crew of this age. We'll also talk you through and show you this fantastic seating arrangement in the back of this van, this changeable seating arrangement in the back of the van. And we'll also walk you through the condition of this particular example, seeing as it is currently available for sale at the time of recording. So, starting here at the rear of the van, we can see that this one is spec'd with rear barn doors. You can see on a Berlingo that you have a sort of a 60-40 split with the rear barn doors. What I mean by barn doors are doors which open in that sort of fashion. Looking at the rear bumper here, we can also see that we've got rear parking sensors nicely integrated, if the camera will focus, into the rear bumper just there. The camera's not liking that rear bumper for some reason. But yeah, rear parking sensors there, nicely integrated into the rear bumper. And in terms of condition of the rear barn doors, and to be honest with you, the rest of the van, it's pretty difficult to fault. It's in absolutely impeccable condition throughout. Of course, as you would expect really for a van of this age, but of course vans aren't used to go to the shops on a Sunday, but this really is in fantastic order, so it's been very well looked after indeed. And looking at the rear barn doors, just using those reflections where available, and how hopefully the camera is conveying this correctly, it is in absolutely brilliant order. If we open up the rear barn doors, we can then start to have a look at the load space in the back of here, and we will come back to this a little bit later in the video as well when we talk about the seating arrangement as well. When you open up the rear barn doors, you'll see the little yellow tab just here, as you get on all Berlingos of this age. Give that a pull, and then you can open the door right out to its 180-degree position, which then gives you maximum accessibility into the rear doors, and of course allows me to show you the condition as well. So you can see here the condition of these rear doors. Again, absolutely fantastic. Usually these are very high traffic areas for damage on the interior of a van. We're used to seeing lots of marks on this painted area here, maybe at the bottom, but as you can see, in absolutely fabulous order throughout. We've got the rubber overmat as well, which comes from factory, which is absolutely fantastic as it allows you to sweep the back out, keep it nice and clean in the back of there. We've got the plastic panels on the side as well, which certainly give it a bit more of a car-like feel in a way, but still very commercial in the back of here. Plenty of tie-down points as well in the floor, and we've also got a load light at the top there as well. And we have got this very unusual but highly versatile factory-fitted bulkhead, which you can see is in a mesh configuration, so it does allow light and of course ventilation to travel through it. And I say we'll come back to that in just a second. If we shut the rear barn doors, we can then continue to go around the van, looking here then down the passenger side, and again just having a good look in the reflections there where available, and you can just see how clean and tidy this van is. As I say, it is basically impossible to fault really. I'm sure if you had a good look around it with a magnifying glass, you may find a stone chip here or there, but all in all, looking absolutely brilliant. You can also see that we've got 16-inch steel wheels on this particular model on the Enterprise, and they do come with the nice Citroen wheel trims as well. Very big fuel cap on these, and the reason for that is because it houses the diesel filler and also the AdBlue side by side. The reason it has AdBlue is because this van is Euro 6, which means you can take this into the ultra low emission zone areas without having to pay the ultra low emissions zone charge. Very handy if you're ever going into central London or other major cities around the UK. Now then, if we open up the near side loading door, this van has twin side loading doors, so you can access these rear seats from both sides. We can then begin to have a look at the seating configuration here in the back. Now, for me to show you this fully, we need to open up the passenger door as well, because believe it or not, this seat comes into play with all of this here. So the first thing that we need to do is fold down the passenger seat just here. So I'm going to try and do all of this with one hand, which is easier said than done. So you can clip that down just there using the top handle, and then using the bottom handle then we can slide it forward out of the way. Looking at these rear seats then, before we start messing around with them and start folding them down, you can see that we have got ISOFIX compatibility here, and again in terms of condition, absolutely spot on throughout here in the back. Lovely condition all in all. So on top of the seat, like you would in a car, simple little button just there to press, and that allows you then to fold down the rear seats. We do have a metal back on these seats, because you can actually of course load through here and on top of this, so that gives you protection as well. You have also got the ISOFIX or child seat top tethers on both of those seats as well. Then when we have a look at the bulkhead, and we're going to have to repeat this process on the driver's side over there, but at the top here you have this handle with the little yellow plunger just there. So if you squeeze that, turn that around all the way, it clips into place like so, and that engages the bar or disengages the bar from the roof up there. If we then go back around, as I say, to the driver's side, open up the driver's side loading door, and again this gives you another chance to have a look, or a first chance to have a look at this particular seat, all in very good order as we would expect. Push on the button on top of there, seat folds down nice and flat there, and then we go back up to the top, pull on the little handle just there, that twists around, clips into place there, and now the bulkhead very simply will slide forward like so. And now this gives you this absolutely fantastic load space throughout the back of the van. If we open up the rear barn doors, so we will come back to this, you can then start to get a feel for how big the back of this van is, because now you've got the full functionality of a long wheelbase Citroen Berlingo van, and as you can see you can even do it with one hand. If we just come back over to the side here for a second, once the bulkhead is slid forward, you use this little handle just here, it twists and then it clips into the side of the van there, give that a push, and it twists back, and that's now locked into place. You do exactly the same on the other side, and then you've even got a door in the bulkhead here, so the versatility does not end there. So you give this a pull there and a twist, and then you can actually open up this door on the bulkhead. Up on top here there is a little, what looks like a bonnet stay, and that clips into the top of the door just there, and then you have got 3 meters of load length from the back of the van all the way through on top of the passenger seat there and almost up against the dashboard to the front. So you've got this fantastic 3 meter load length there, which for a van of this size is absolutely impeccable, and when you consider that you've got the functionality of 5 seats as well. So I'm glad that I'm able to show you that. I'm quite excited to be able to show you that in quite a sad way. It's quite, I say, quite an exciting feature for a van of this size. Berlingo crews and other crew vans have been doing this for a while in the back of their vans, but this is the first van we've had with this exact function, the way that those handles move around and clip in, and as I say, it wasn't as easy as that previously, so it's hats off to Citroen on this particular occasion. I'm a big fan of that system. Continuing around to the front of the van then, we can see that we've got front fog lights, sorry, not front parking sensors, we've got front fog lights on the Enterprise, and again, looking at the condition here of the front of the van, absolutely impeccable. There's not really any stone chips on the bonnet, to be honest. There's maybe 1 or 2 minor ones, but it's all in all in absolutely fantastic condition. And then looking again down that driver's side, we'll shut the side loading door here so you can have a good look how clean and straight this is. Again, very difficult to fault. If we then have a look inside the cab, we can have a look at some of the spec and condition inside here. So starting on top of the driver's door, we have electric windows, electric mirrors. Looking at the driver's seat, we have height adjustability here. You do have a driver's armrest. You do actually have a passenger armrest as well on that seat. And another thing to note while we're looking here, you have a tray on the back of each of these seats. So when the rear seats are in their upright position, you do have a tray there, which can be handy, as I say, if you're carrying children, etc. in the back. Lovely modern flat bottom steering wheel on these new Citroen Berlingos. Again, I'm a big fan of that. Looking at the speedo here, we can see the mileage at the bottom, 16,466 miles. The vehicle is idling correctly at the moment, so there's no warning lights or anything like that on the dashboard. If we move the steering wheel over to the left-hand side, we can see that we've got auto-activated lights here. We've also got cruise control, so got some lovely features there. You can control the radio behind the steering wheel just here. 2 full remote keys with this particular vehicle as well. If we move the mat out of the way, we can have a quick look at the condition of the floor, just to show you that there's no excessive wear or anything there to the floor. It's all in good order. And then if we jump in, we can start to have a look at some further features in here. As I mentioned, 5-speed manual gearbox, electronic handbrake on this shape Berlingo. We have a 12-volt socket, which is located underneath the gear stick at the bottom down there as well. Air conditioning as standard on the Enterprise, heated wing mirrors also as well. And then we have this fantastic screen on top here. So we've got DAB radio up here, and you'll also see there is a USB port, and I have a cable plugged in there. The reason for that, if I press the phone button just here, it takes you to Apple Carplay. So an absolutely fantastic feature to have on any modern van. Brilliant functionality with use of apps such as Apple Maps for your satellite navigation. You can go back, you can listen to your music via Apple Music or podcasts. You can get it to compose or read messages to you, listen to podcasts, or even read items from your calendar. Same goes with WhatsApp in terms of writing or composing or reading messages, and you can listen to music on Spotify as well. And the more apps that you have on your phone, the more functionality this gives you. You've also got Android Auto on here as well, so absolutely fantastic bit of spec to have. And in terms, as I say, in terms of condition inside here, again, very difficult to fault. Driver's seat is all in beautiful order, and the same with the dashboard as well. So just to summarize this particular vehicle, it is an October 2020 on a 70 plate, so you've got manufacturer's warranty until October 2023, or until the vehicle reaches 100,000 miles. This is the 850 model, so you've got an 850, it's actually 855 kilogram payload, but we'll call it 850 kilo payload. 1.5 blue HDI 100 brake horsepower engine, which is, as I mentioned, Euro 6, so you can take this into the ultra low emission zone areas without having to pay the ultra low emission zone charge. It's the long wheelbase Enterprise Crew van, fantastic specification, including air conditioning, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, heated wing mirrors, cruise control, auto lights, and so on and so forth. And we've got that brilliant seating configuration in the back, which gives you the versatility of having 5 seats, or at the same time being able to slide the bulkhead forward, fold the seats down, even opening up the hatch on the bulkhead if you want to give you a 3-meter load length on that side, and all the functionality of a long wheelbase Berlingo van. So it's very unusual to get one of these, as it's the first one that we've had. If we could get more, we would, but as I say, this is the only one that we could get at the moment. If you'd like to inquire, please feel free to give us a call on either of the numbers that are listed on our website, which is bridgeendvans.co.uk. We can arrange finance on all of our vehicles, including this one, starting as low as 7.9% APR. We can get finance accepted for private individuals or limited companies, and we can also welcome part exchange inquiries, and we can deliver our vehicles nationwide as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch almost all 15 minutes of this video. Thanks again.